Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit episode number 331. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book and you need some help getting it done, or perhaps you're at the stage where you need help reaching more readers to let them know about your book, you are in the right place. Good morning, happy Saturday, happy weekend. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., like the stuff you write with. Every day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and these are the three things that can turn a non-author into a published author, and they are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits, the three things that we cover here on the show every day. Here's today's quote. I wanted to write literature that pushed people into their lives rather than helped people escape from them. Harvey P. Carr. Well, once again, happy Saturday, happy weekend, my fellow authors. And as we've been doing lately here on Saturday episodes, we're going to kick back a little bit with a fun episode, especially with all the learning that I like to think is happening during the rest of the episodes throughout the week. So without further ado, here are three of my favorite movies about writers and writing, along with why I love them. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these aren't really showing up on other people's lists of favorite movies about writers and creativity. What can I say? I kind of sway towards the quirky side of life. So the first movie about writing that I love is Stranger Than Fiction, starring Will Ferrell and Emma Thompson. And this movie is basically a novelist's dream come true for me. Because really, the premise is, what if the characters in your book know that they're characters in a book? I mean, like, how cool is that? So, do you ever wonder that? I've wondered that before. And yes, something like this in a lesser movie, a cool premise could certainly flop. The cool premise would be about as far as it would go. And the movie could very easily be pretty wrapping with no real story substance inside. And at first I kind of thought that, but then I saw the A-list cast and I'm like, I think it's probably not going to be too bad. So, maybe the acting talent undoubtedly attracted the production talent or vice versa. Either way, it ended up being a very well done film and certainly a fun time for authors with our wild imaginations. And another of my favorite movies about writers and writing is The Player. And there are so many great things about this screenwriting / filmmaking / Hollywood movie industry movie. I barely know where to begin. And of course, I have the screenwriting background, so I love that part. But there's just so much in this movie. First of all, the obvious one, it's a Robert Altman film. Just one of the most legendary directors of all time. He's phenomenal in my book. And next is the pure, unadulterated acting talent of this A+++++ ensemble list of actors led by Tim Robbins. And these actors are so good. The acting is so amazing in this movie. It quickly makes you forget that you're even watching a movie versus just being a fly on the wall in the heart of Hollywood. And of course, the writing and the story are impeccable. I mean, it's Robert Altman. But outside of all the technicality, so that's more of the technical review. Here's why I really love this movie. Because as a writer, it hits all the layers of story, cynicism, humor, raw emotions. Also, the anxiety and guilt and fear that comes when someone is at the top of their career and finds themselves suddenly on the edge, on the brink of the very painful and very steep downfall. This is the main reason I love this movie, because this is a 100% universal human experience. Even if very few people on the planet can relate to the character's actual career situation, I mean, how many people are top Hollywood studio film executives? But so they take that kind of to the nth degree. But we can all relate to the fear of failing, especially when we've achieved something. This movie just elevates that fear and all the anxiety and terror, all the emotions that come with that, to the nth degree, making for a truly awesome movie. So for me, The Player is about humanity, even in the midst of Hollywood and movie-making humor. Finally, for my third pick for movies I love about writing, I'm going to color outside the lines a little bit, literally. And this movie is about artists more so than writing. And I'm talking about the movie based on the book American Splendor, starring Paul Giamatti, which deals with a combination of images and words. It is a true life story about the quite neurotic, anxiety-ridden, and massively talented cartoonist Harvey P. Carr. Now, most of the story is about his remarkably kind of humdrum real life trials and tribulations. He has a boring day job as a filing clerk at a hospital, falling in love with the girl, that kind of thing, but also while dealing with a cartoonist rival. And oh, yeah, his unexpected rise to the top of fame as a comic book genius who is a regular guest on the David Letterman show. So yeah, he has, and this was what, like, one of the coolest parts of Harvey Picar's story is that he never quit his job as a file clerk at a hospital, even while he was being a guest on the David Letterman show. I thought that was so cool. Just really kind of balancing his two worlds, like, just like regular guy and also, by the way, famous genius. So I love the balance of real life and creative genius, and also so much of the process, along with the pure comedy and raw emotions that artists experience of anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome, all the things that some of us often experience as artists. And of course, this whole dance, this whole kind of opera is held together by one of my favorite actors ever, Paul Giamatti, who absolutely nails the emotional checks and balances of this story. And I haven't even touched on some of the ingenious filmmaking elements, so I'll just let you be surprised if you haven't seen it yet, American Splendor. And also honorable mentions to two of my other favorite movies about writing, The Accidental Tourist and Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Circle. Very, very cool movie there. Jennifer Jason Leigh, just awesome, awesome actress. So anyone else seeing any underlying trend in my picks here? My fascination with psychology? Of course, it might not be me at all. It might be that artists in psychology, especially writers in psychology, are a match made in heaven or in the movies. What are your favorite movies about writers and writing and creativity and art and genius and all the things like that? So what are your favorite movies about writing and art? Please chime in my Ink Authors group, I-N-K, Ink Authors on Facebook, and let us know. As always, thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And if you know someone else who wants to write and finish writing an awesome book, please let them know about this show. You can just send them to yourdailywritinghabit.com. Until tomorrow, happy writing.